When you obey yourself, you meet yourself. Like
True.
you meet yourself when you obey yourself.
You really find out who you are.
It's like you find out what you were made of. You find out who you are, like when you are obeying yourself. And y'all, I'm like 10 days in and I'm like finding out who I am.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Be That Girl podcast. I'm your host, Emily Giudice, and I'm really excited about today's topic because we're diving into something that I haven't talked a whole lot about on the podcast yet, but it is something that I value extremely highly, and it is my health, my actual physical health. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, which you can if you aren't, I have Emily here, my creative director, Emily Squared. I have Emily here as my creative director, and I just like to have Emily here because y'all are humans and you like to talk to other people, and it's kind of fun to have somebody here to like bounce conversation off of while I'm recording the podcast. So Emily's sitting in on the podcast and she'll, you know, offer her commentary as she wants to.
Yeah.
And probably think of things that I'm not thinking of that we can talk about. So I've been getting a lot of questions lately about my health because I have been posting on Instagram about it. I've been sharing on stories and just talking about kind of what my health journey has looked like and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and all of that. And I want to kind of normalize evolving in your health, even when you're very health educated. So a lot of y'all know my past life. I was a health coach, a nutrition coach for years. I coached thousands of clients on their health and their fitness and their nutrition and helped them lose weight and helped them feel better and all those things. And so like, I know what to do. Like I know what healthy eating looks like. I know what I should be doing. The problem is that when you're building a business and you have a lot of other priorities, sometimes prioritizing your health kind of gets fallen by the wayside. And I will say, like, I've never gone back to where I was like prior to my initial health journey, like 6 years ago. I wasn't like eating fast food every day or anything like that, but I definitely was letting things slip here and there, and I was feeling it most definitely. Just real life as a busy founder and, you know, growing this business, my habits were just slipping and I was really feeling it. And so I've really been in like a refinement chapter. I'm always in a refinement chapter. I'm always trying to refine and optimize myself to be the healthiest, most optimal version of me for my business, my life, my family, my team, my clients, and my body is just really calling me into refinement right now. So I want to talk about some of the symptoms that I was having, what was happening in my body, and kind of what prompted this journey. So something that I've really noticed the last like 6 to 12 months is I have had a big appetite change. I love the feeling of feeling hungry. Like when you do a hard workout and like you get home and there's like a big like protein packed like healthy meal, just like devouring it and feeling hungry and like feeling like your body is like using all the nutrients like immediately.
Yeah.
I have not had that feeling in a long time, truly. So my appetite was really suppressed. I was having no appetite in the morning. I was drinking way too much coffee. And I say way too much coffee. I've always kind of prided myself as like, oh, I just have like 1 cup in the morning.
Yeah, you definitely got loose with that.
I definitely got loose with that. And like, even I would always say when you came over, I was like, I always drink so much more coffee when you're here. Cause like we'd be like shooting content. And I would just be like, oh, let me just like make a coffee.
That's
so
like
I can
a comfort.
have something to hold. Yeah, it's like my safety net.
Yeah.
And so I was drinking more coffee than I like wanted to be. It's like I would have my 1 cup in the morning. And then if I had a call at like noon, I'd be like, well, let me just fix another cup of coffee for my call, or let me fix a decaf or a half calf cup. Or I might go to a coffee shop and work at 10 or 11 and be like, well, I haven't had coffee since like 6 a.m.
Well,
so
and like,
let me have a latte.
You've always been like bad at drinking water too.
Oh, so bad.
So like, let's
So
talk
bad.
about that.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm still bad at it.
Yeah.
Like in this new health journey, that is something I'm struggling with. We're going to get to all that, but she actually did finally give my specific water goal. It's not even that much. It's 75 ounces.
Oh,
and I hit it one day.
Stop. That's like
So
2 Stanleys.
I hit it one day. Okay, I was literally thinking about this at the gym yesterday because I had my Stanley. I like will walk around my life all day with a full Stanley and like not take a sip of it. And so it was like, my habit needs to be like quite literally like sipping the water. And I was talking to somebody about this. I think I put it on my story about how I don't drink water when I travel.
Yeah.
Because I'm so scared of
you have to pee. Yeah.
That's like an everyday fear for me. Like I'm always like racing and rushing, and I'm in the car and I'm picking up kids and dropping off kids, and I'm going to the gym, and I'm, you know, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like scared that I'm going to have to like pee all the time. And that's obviously a very irrational fear.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm like very aware of it,
there's
I'm
like bathrooms, places.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. Exactly. There's bathroom places. So anyways, so appetite changes were bad, drinking too much coffee. I was just relying on caffeine more than I wanted to admit. And I had a big energy decline. So I've been working out with a personal trainer for a while now, a few years. And I used to like be so hard in my workouts. Like I would really push myself. I could lift super heavy weights. And just in the last 6 to 12 months, I noticed this pattern where I would show up and I would just like not have energy. And I always like said it was because of something. I'd be like, oh, it's because I was traveling last week, or oh, it's because we had a busy weekend, or oh, it's because it's challenge week. Like I always had some kind of excuse as to why I wasn't pushing myself like I used to. And then after like several months of that, I'm like, okay, like maybe something's going on with my body because this is not normal.
Well, and how many days a week do you train with him?
I train with him 3 days a week, strength training, like so weightlifting.
Yeah.
And I used to train separately from him. So like he would give me workouts to do like a 4th or a 5th time a week, or I would do like at my gym that I go to, we have like GTX or ultra fit classes, which are more cardio based because I don't do a ton of cardio with him, or I would do one of those classes. Like I was a good like 4-day a week on average, sometimes a 5th day. And in the past 6 to 12 months, I've really slipped into like 2 to 3 times a week. So I've never gone back to like, I don't work out. I never ever skip an entire week at the gym, but there are weeks where I'm working out like 2 times or 3 times. And that's just not where I used to be.
Yeah.
And so I was like, definitely noticing an energy decline. I wasn't like taking naps. I wasn't like so beyond fatigued where I like, couldn't get out of bed, but no power in my workouts. I was kind of trying to logic the fatigue, like why it was happening. But after like 6 to 12 months of this pattern, I was like, okay, something's got to be going on. So energy decline was a big thing. Appetite change was a big thing. Another big thing, and this is kind of something that's bothered me off and on since I had my 4th baby, which she's 3.5 now, is inflammation and joint pain, which I'm not talking about inflammation as in like I feel bloated. I'm not like somebody that feels bloated. I'm talking about joint pain, which is caused from inflammation. So I danced until I was 18, like I was dancing 25 hours a week in high school. I was doing point. I was in a ballet company. I was a principal dancer. It was a very like rigorous schedule. I was dancing 6 out of 7 days a week. And that was really intense. Well, I'm assuming that I probably have some arthritis or some stuff going on in my joints from that. And I know that food can be medicine. And if I was eating correctly and like really managing the inflammation, I probably wouldn't have the joint pain that I have. But since I had Hughes, I've had some hip pain in my left hip. It's kind of like in my hip flexor. And then both of my knees have been bothering me off and on. And it's really, it's not injury because like some days I don't have it at all. And then some days like it hurts just walking up and down the stairs at the gym. And so I'm getting there with my trainer and he's like, how are you feeling today? And I'm like, my knees are bothering me. So then he has to edit my whole workout, which is part of the reason why I've stuck with him so much. Like I know how to work out. I could easily work out on my own. I did, workouts with the program that I was in for so long, but he really knows how to like help me based on like what my body is feeling. So he's really helped me learn how to do things correctly as well. So inflammation and joint pain, really wanted to like see if I could address that with food and changing my like diet and lifestyle. My skin, lifelong cystic acne. I've had it. I've dealt with it since I was in middle school, really. I was on Accutane in high school. I took spironolactone in college, all the things. And so I have flare-ups like, and people like, well, like, your skin looks fine. And I'm like, right now, but like I do get these like cystic flare-ups that really bother me. They scar really bad. And so anyway,
like, don't talk about acne in your 30s enough.
No,
I feel like a lot of people get a wave in their 30s.
Oh my gosh. My biggest problems with acne was postpartum.
Yeah.
With my 3rd and my 4th.
But your body is just depleted.
Literally.
Well, and I've been on this journey as of the last couple years too, since having my twins, of like, it's so your body, what happened to your body? Yeah. Like people don't replenish their bodies. And so I'm excited to get into like exactly what you're doing because of the, like your body needs to get back to a baseline because you probably didn't even know what normal felt like. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And acne's just always been a part of my life. And I know like from what I've learned from like working with skin people is they're like, you're either kind of acne prone or you're not. But even if you are acne prone, there is still things you can do. And so this practitioner that I'm working with is like, oh, acne is all from the gut. And she's like, as soon as we fix your gut, this is going to all get better. And I'm like, okay. So skin, and then honestly, weight loss and body composition is not really something that I'm like super like determined to change. Like I feel pretty healthy where I am. My clothes fit good. I feel pretty confident. Could I like stand to lose 5 or 10 pounds? Like, sure. I would love that. Like, I'd love to be more ripped. Like, great.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, I'm desperate to lose these 5 to 10 pounds, So, and I do feel like I've tried over the past few years to like lose 5 pounds or lower my body fat percentage. And I'm pretty stubborn. I'm like stuck at like a set weight where I am. So those are kind of all my symptoms. Nothing like crazy, like nothing like, oh my gosh, like I have IBS and I'm this and I'm that.
Yeah,
like,
which is when
crazy.
A lot of people seek help when they're like, this is so bad.
More me, I'm like, I feel a little off. I feel different than I did the last few years. I want to be optimal. I need to be optimal so I can run this business, grow this business, show up for my 4 kids, my husband, show up for my team, my family, and like be happy in my daily life, right? I need more energy. So that's the why. Now, a lot of people are like, why are you choosing like this functional approach versus just like getting blood work at your doctor? So I actually heard Heather Finley give a really...
So I'm working with her.
Yeah. So I heard Heather Finley give a really good explanation of this on her stories the other day, the difference between diagnostic labs and functional labs.
Yes.
So when you go to the doctor, you get diagnostic labs. They're like, we're going to do your blood work. Like if you're OBGYN, for example, she's like every couple of years, like, we need to get your blood work done.
Full blood panel, whatever.
They're looking for markers for illness.
Yeah.
They're like, do you have PCOS? Do you have markers for high blood pressure? Do you have markers for high cholesterol? Do you have markers for hypothyroidism?
Yeah.
For hyperthyroidism. They're looking for markers to diagnose you with an illness.
So that they can give you medicine.
Right.
So that they can get you better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a whole nother conversation.
Correct.
But we're not going to dive too much into that. Like I think that Western medicine is amazing and has a place, but I do think that it's overused a lot. So functional approach is maybe they're ordering similar labs, but maybe a little bit more. Actually, when I went and got my blood work done for this and I did my full blood panel, the lady that was the phlebotomist or whatever that was taking my blood was like, wow, this is a lot of tests on the requisition form. And it just made me laugh because I'm like, yeah, Amy, like she's being so thorough.
Yeah.
So functional labs is like, we're looking for optimal health. We're looking for function. Like, is your body functioning in an optimal range? We're not going to compare you to the rest of the population in the US that is all unhealthy, sick, has disease, has diabetes. Like they're not comparing my markers to someone like that and being like, oh, you're fine. You're in a fine, normal range. Yeah. They're like, are you in a functionally optimal range?
For you.
For me. Yes. So that's the big difference. And that's what I love about it. So Amy's looking at like, so I'll tell you the test that I did. I did an MRT, which is food sensitivity. I did a full blood panel, which apparently there was like a lot of tests. I don't even know. And then I did a GI map, which was a stool test, which so fun.
Yeah.
Love that.
Have you had the results of that yet?
No, not yet. The only thing I've gotten results back as of this podcast is the food sensitivity
Okay, mine's
test.
on Tuesday. I'll let you know.
Yeah, my food sensitivity test actually wasn't that bad. I'll get into that in a little bit. But so she ordered those and she's looking at like my gut health. She's looking at inflammation markers. She's looking at thyroid function, not just thyroid disease. She's looking at insulin sensitivity, like versus insulin resistance. Huge. She's literally told me that that's everything.
It is. It's everything to everyone.
Your insulin, but I'm like, I'm not insulin resistant. Like, I can gain weight. I can lose weight. Like it's easy, like ish for me. Like, I'm not insulin resistant. But she's like, we're going to look at your blood work and see, like, is there any amount of insulin resistance? What does your A1C look like?
Yeah.
What is your A1C in this like disease range? Is it in an optimal range?
Well, there was an episode of Diary of a CEO recently where Stephen Bartlett talked to like an insulin doctor, and that guy was like, we'll link it in the show notes, but that guy was like, if you can fix your insulin problems, you will live forever. Like basically that's what he was saying.
And so she's like, we're going to look at your blood sugar. She's like, I'm going to help you like learn how to like take your blood sugar, which I've worn like a CGM and stuff. But she's like, you're going to learn how to take your blood sugar, and I'm going to show you how to get into ketosis. Yeah. Which is so interesting because I was like thinking like, but you're going to put me on a keto diet? It's not. She's like that. And she literally said that doesn't mean you're going to be on a ketogenic diet. Yeah. We're not putting you on a high fat diet. She's like, but there is a way to eat where it keeps your blood sugar stable, gets you in ketosis where you're actually burning fat. Yeah. She's like, that your is brain, why you cannot lose 5 to 10 pounds.
Yeah. When your brain's in ketosis, it's like, it functions so much better.
Yeah. Which is what Macy always talks about. How she was like, when she was eating the way she was eating.
But it's funny how it takes like a life experience for you for like all of these things to click.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, this makes sense.
Well, and I'm like, I know about function here.
You know it. Yes.
I know. So who am I working with, y'all? I'm working with Amy Williams, Alia Williams, her married name's Williams. And she actually works out at my gym, so she's local to me, but she's kind of like, I feel like a big deal. She is
like, a big deal. She's worked with like
Irvin,
celebrities.
She's worked with, she's Mallory Irvin for Natalie. What is her last name? She's like a big
Kennedy.
Influencer. Natalie Kennedy.
She's worked with Emily Lay, who makes her planners.
Yes. Yeah. Like she's just like, I'm like, oh, hey, like fangirling. And Amy's intense, y'all. Like, I just need y'all to know this. We're going to bring her on the podcast. And we talked about it yesterday.
Okay, fine.
Me and her. We're going to bring her on the podcast. She's intense. She's like, no BS. You know, some people were like, there's no such thing as good food and bad food. Food doesn't have feelings. She's like, there is bad food.
Yeah.
Like, she is like, no BS. I really like her a lot. Her husband is a professional NFL football player. She has 3 kids. She homeschools. Her kids are like the cutest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, she works out at my gym, but I actually got connected with her through Allison Evans, who's the owner of Branch Basics, who's my friend. And so Allison and me had gone to lunch and she tagged me in her story. And then Amy and Allison are friends. And Amy saw it and was like, oh my God, another like Houston area, like girl who like loves Jesus and is healthy.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, you know, prioritizes health. She's like, not many of those. Like, we should meet.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because Amy messaged me on Instagram and was like, oh my gosh, like I saw Allison, we're friends. Like, we should meet. Like, where do you live? Allison said you lived in like the Friendswood area. And I was dying laughing because I was like, Amy, I go to your gym and I like talk to you today.
Yeah.
But she like didn't put 2 and 2 together. I mean, I don't look like this.
Well, when you see someone like out of an environment that you don't normally see them in.
Yeah. Right? And then she was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like the biggest idiot ever. Yeah. And I was like, not fine. Anyway, so we got connected that way. Within like a couple months, I was like, Amy, I need to work with you.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time. So Amy's a nutritional therapy practitioner. She's actually, did you know she was an attorney? She went to law school.
No.
She like sat for the bar.
Wow.
Or was about to sit for the bar. And then like had like this revelation that she wanted to like homeschool her kids and be home with her kids and like raise her family. And her husband was like, okay. And so then she got into this. So she's like really into like skin and root cause approach. She literally will say, she told me on our first call, what is at the end of your fork is either medicine or poison. And I was like, wow, like to think about it that way was like intense. But yeah, so she has a very much a food first philosophy. We're not starting with like a bunch of supplements. Like she's even doing my blood work and like all of that. And like when she saw my food sensitivity test, she's not like, okay, I need to add this in and this in. She's very much food first philosophy. She works super hard at the gym. She also wants me to work super hard at the gym. So I'm trying to get there. She's getting me.
It's really convenient that she's there with you.
Dude, she like literally did a high rocks workout the other day and she was like, you should do it with me. And I was like, Amy, I will die.
I will come watch you.
Like, at first, but then you would get better and stronger and
I love that.
So anyways,
I was going to be running triathlons before.
Yeah, right.
Can you swim?
No, heck no. So I was like, okay, I need to work with you. If y'all been around for a while, you know that I am like, I need the highest level of support there is.
Yeah.
So she has a group program called, she has like a membership program called Root. That's like this like ongoing membership where you can get labs and stuff. She has 2 practitioners that actually work for her too. And you can do one-on-one coaching with any of them. And then she also has a group program that she only launches like in January. I want to say it's like an 8-week program. And so there's like a little bit lower price point. I'm like, I want the biggest thing. I want to work with the main person. I want the highest level expert because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So I was like, Amy, I want to work one-on-one with you. It was a very big investment. It's the biggest investment I've ever made in like my self-health, like physical health wise. I always invest in my brain.
Yeah.
But like, hello, your body is
especially like when you're a healthy person, it's like,
I value it. I really value it.
Like you weren't trying to go from like
eating like
one extreme
food
to
every
the
day.
other.
No.
Yeah. You're just like fine tuning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And kind of like reeling in some habits that had started to like trickle in that hadn't been there for a while.
Sometimes you have to invest that amount of money to make you take something seriously.
Literally. No, you do. Like that's what I teach everyone. I'm like, people who pay a lot of attention. And trust me, I'm paying a lot of attention. I have to turn in weekly food journals. I have to write down like when I use the bathroom, guys.
Yeah, there's like no hiding.
I have to write how much water I drink every day, how much sleep I get, what my workout was for the day, like every meal.
Well, there's nothing more vulnerable than like having to turn in what you ate. Like literally. My dietitian's like, send me pictures. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'll be sending you pictures. Yeah. You know, it makes you so much more accountable.
Exactly. So I signed up for one-on-one support with Amy. We did the labs. She did full blood panel, MRT food sensitivity test, which is a blood test. I'll just dive into that really quick. It's not that exciting. It rates you based on area of food. So like meats and poultry and vegetables and starches and all of those things. And it tells you like if you're green, if you're yellow, or if you're red. So actually I had no red on my whole test, which is great. Not super sensitive to anything. And then I had like, I would say 90% green on every area. There was like 3 yellows like in every area. And some of the things that were yellow are things I'd never eat. So that was great. So the things that stood out to me that were on there that I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to cut those out was zucchini and onion, which I don't eat zucchini a whole lot, but that is one vegetable that like I do eat. Like I don't love vegetables that much. So zucchini and onion were big on there. Oranges, which was kind of a bummer because like I eat clementine oranges, like, you know.
Yeah, like the cuties or
Yeah,
whatever.
the cuties. So oranges was on there. Pork, which was interesting. Like,
I think that sounds surprising. Pork's just like,
but I liked
not
it.
great.
It's like my favorite.
I know. But it's just
I
like,
love like carnitas. Like,
oh my
so
gosh,
yummy.
But when people, pork's like not a meat that anyone's ever like,
Right.
you should be eating a ton of
Yeah,
pork.
exactly. So pork was on there. Peanuts, which wasn't a big one, but I had just bought like the HEB fresh peanut butter. So she was like, just switch to almond butter. I was like, okay, totally can do that. And then dairy. Dairy was the big one.
Really?
So, which I was kind of like not really planning to eat a whole lot of dairy anyways. With
When you're eating like this, it doesn't.
She was like, you can eat like raw cheese, you can eat like whole milk, Greek yogurt. Like there is some dairy that is okay on my plan, but if you have a dairy sensitivity, we're going to cut it out. So no dairy, nothing crazy alarming. Like I don't have to go gluten free or anything. Although I'm not eating gluten because Whole Foods. I'm eating Whole Foods.
Yeah.
So naturally not eating gluten. I'm not even eating like sourdough or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did that full blood panel, GI map, disgusting, stool test, waiting on the results for that. Something that it was interesting that Amy said about the sensitivities was that they're not going to be like forever allergies. She's like, once we heal and seal your gut, like you can eat dairy again.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, like, she's like, there's just certain types of dairy. And one thing that I told her, well, I'm going to get into that in a minute, but basically I'm doing a 12-week protocol with her. So it's 3 months. We're meeting like on Zoom, like hour meetings, like not every single week, but like we've met twice. We met and then a week later we met again. I think we meet again in 2 weeks. I have to turn in my food journals every single Sunday. And y'all, this is like strict food. Like I'm telling y'all, whole foods only, no processed foods at all. I feel like people think that they're kind of surprised that feels hard for me. And I'm like, y'all, I've always like when I was even super dialed in with my health, I still lived this like 80-20 lifestyle where I'd be like, yeah, I'm eating 80% whole foods, but then I might have like some siete potato chips and I would just eat a serving of them. I can't even have that. Like, I can't eat a cracker.
Like, like these like healthy,
this is like
healthy chips or healthy whatever.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you can't
not
even,
a thing. So like no chips, no crackers. I'm not eating tortillas. I'm not eating
It's
honey.
like if you looked at your pantry, it's like we're an ingredient household.
Yes. No honey, no refined sugars, no like better alternatives.
No honey, that's interesting.
Well, because it's sugar, blood sugar.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Her big thing is managing my blood sugar. She's like, honey is gonna spike your blood sugar.
Whole food though, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's just the blood sugar thing. Yeah. So raw dairy is allowed, but because dairy popped up for me, I'm temporarily eliminating that. The hardest part's no caffeine. Guys, we talked about that at the beginning. The caffeine is really hard.
Opened that.
Well, I said that at the beginning. I was drinking too much coffee. So no caffeine. No switching to matcha. No
tea.
No.
Well, you can have tea.
I think an herbal tea if it's decaf. Yeah. So no caffeine is really hard. It honestly wasn't that bad. And Amy said some people have headaches for like a week. I only had a headache for like not even 48 hours. So I actually feel pretty proud that I was not that dependent on it. But I did have a headache for about 36 to 48 hours. I was super grouchy the first like 2 days. I felt just like super foggy. I got behind on like a work project because I was like, I can't function to like create this right now. But it only lasted a couple days. Yeah, completely removed it. I can't even have decaf coffee, guys. I'll tell y'all the 3 reasons she said no coffee and not even decaf is because coffee has mold. Some people get really shocked whenever I say that, but coffee has mold. Like it does. And it's very acidic. So it's not great for like the gut environment.
Yes.
So I was like, what if I like do the kind of coffee that's like really healthy?
Yeah,
like
they do make like mold free
like brand or like Fabula brand. They like test it for mold and mycotoxins, but it says it's lower acidity. And she's like, Emily, for 12 weeks, you're just not going to have any coffee. Yeah. I'm like, okay. So no caffeine.
So good to do this at the beginning of the year too.
Yeah.
It's like, it'll be over with by summer or whatever, you know?
Yeah, but like I have a lot of like things happening during these 12 weeks, which is going to be challenging. So we'll stay tuned on how that goes. But no electrolytes. That was actually pretty surprising to me.
Yeah, that'd be hard for me.
Yeah, it's harder than you think to just drink plain water. But she was like, it's not that I think electrolytes are bad, and I probably will add something in for you for hydration at some point. She's just like, and just for these 12 weeks, we're getting you back to baseline. We're not adding in anything processed, and electrolytes are processed. So anyways, no electrolytes. She just wants that clean baseline. If I eat out, I have to send her a picture of the menu ahead of time, and then she makes me a little custom menu of what I can choose from.
That's really helpful.
Yeah, I'm trying to just not eat out because honestly, that just makes it hard.
Yeah.
We did eat out after church on this past Sunday, but it was like a breakfast diner place, so it was easy. I got like 2 poached eggs, a side of fruit, some bacon and avocado, and I like just ate that, which was fine. So, okay, let's dive into like how this kind of like, this is like, goes back to what I tell people about like how Macy McNeely says, like, when you obey yourself, you meet yourself. Like, you meet yourself when you obey yourself.
You really find out who you are.
It's like you find out what you were made of. You find out who you are, like, when you are obeying yourself. And y'all, I'm like 10 days in, and I'm like finding out who I am.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
So it's been a big mindset reframe. The other day when I had my call with Amy, I like listed out all my current thoughts, and they were like, this is too restrictive. You can't eat like this forever. Coffee brings me joy. Restaurants bring me joy.
Yeah.
I can't be happy without chips and queso. That literally was one of my thoughts. I can't be happy without like eating chips and queso for the rest of my life. And, I'm not the type of person that needs to eat that like every week.
Yeah.
But like,
I think sometimes to know you can't have something.
Yes, it makes
it's like you want what you can't have.
Yeah. But we did have a great call, and Amy really had a good mindset conversation. She was like, this is a season of healing. This is not like a life sentence. She's like, there's going to be a time when you can have chips and queso again. She's like, I mean, I would love for you never have to have caffeine or coffee again, but like, I'd love for you to, have a whole episode on alcohol. That actually, no alcohol, obviously, but I didn't even mention that because I don't really drink.
Yeah.
But she was like, the way you drink alcohol now, where it's like 4 or 5 times a year, she's like, I would love for that to be how you drink coffee. And I'm like,
she doesn't drink coffee at all.
She doesn't. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that, but we'll see. We'll see,
it's like everyone has their like thing.
Yeah.
Like,
my
coffee.
MO.
Yeah. Coffee, like I could see that being like, I'll eat Whole Foods the rest of my life,
but
I would have my latte in the morning. Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like I could even see myself drinking like decaf in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, or maybe it's like I only drink caffeine lattes on the weekend. Like, but I just don't see myself at this moment. I do not see myself 10 days in giving up coffee forever, but we'll see. So she was like, there can be a happy medium. The way you're eating for the next 12 weeks isn't how I want you to eat. Getting to your goal is a lot different than maintaining your goal.
Yes.
So she's like, this is going to look different. But right now I'm Whole Foods only. And I also, as of this week, had to cut out starches. So no potatoes, no sweet potatoes, no rice.
Yeah.
No quinoa.
Wow.
Because the blood sugar.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're eating meat?
But I can eat fruit. She didn't take my fruit away. She said, once we get my blood panel back, she said, we'll see if there's any insulin stuff or A1C stuff, and then she might take fruit away. But she says, and now we're good.
You're gonna be left with beef.
Beef and like greens. I know. So yeah, that's what's happening. But the cool thing is like I'm not tracking the amount. There's no limitation on how much I eat. There's no like you have to eat this much protein yet. I think she said she is going to give me a protein goal at some point. I'm supposed to be drinking 75 ounces of water. I'm not, but I'm working on it. Okay. I'm working on it. I should have water right now drinking. Really should. So the cool thing was that I got to really confront my false pleasures. I got to really see what I was made of. I have been able to see how much joy I was outsourcing to coffee drinks and snacks and treats and, going to the cafes, like going to the coffee shops. Like the way that I would just grab like a handful of Nilla wafers when I was going out the door to pick Hughes up from school. I'm just like, just a little snack to eat on the drive to school. Yeah. Or like a handful of rice crackers because they're like salty and crunchy, like just while I'm walking past the kitchen.
Just because.
I'm not like a binge eater, like where I'm like eating the whole box, but I would grab like 6 or 7 crackers.
Yeah, like that adds up. Yeah.
Yes. And because I've taken that out, I've really noticed like when I'm doing that. And it's like, gosh, when you take away your coping mechanisms, you really do meet who you are.
Well, and like you used to say on your like original health journey 6 years ago, or even 3-4 years ago, it's like whenever the kids would get home from school or dinner would be cooking, you're like, I'm going to go for a walk.
Go for a walk so that I'm,
and you're like back in that zone.
Yes, I'm back in that zone. So I really had to confront my false pleasures. I'm having to realize this is not a life sentence. Amy is a huge like believer. She like loves the Lord, and she is like, your body's a temple, and God did not create Alani energy drinks. Like he created the food that was in the garden. He created the animals. Like that's what he created for us to eat. He didn't create all these processed packaged foods that grocery stores and restaurants and fast food places sell us. And so she's like, you should treat your body like a temple. And I was like, gosh, like it was such a good reminder. It's like, logically I know that.
Yeah.
And I teach that we should take care of our bodies. And I felt like I was like taking care of my body, but just like maybe 60 or 70%.
Well, compared to most of the world, you were.
Yes, that is good. That's good.
But compared to yourself, you could do better.
We were actually talking about this with my trainer the other day. I was like saying how I don't feel like because he always says like you train really hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't. And he's like, compared to the world, yes, you do. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but compared to the people that come to this gym, and he's like, okay, yes, compared to the people that are generally in this area of the gym, I would say you're more like average. You're not like pushing yourself. And I was like, that's who I compare myself to. Like, I'm not comparing myself to the rest of the world.
Yeah,
so I felt like
the rest of the world's doing.
Only being like 60 or 70% optimal, or 60 or 70% taking care of myself. And I need to be like 90% taking care of myself, right? Because truly, like, and this was another thought I had. This is actually a really big thought I had that I wrote down, was that the results I have are not going to outweigh the sacrifices. Like the results that I get from this 12 weeks are not going to outweigh the sacrifices that it's taken to get there.
So true.
And Amy's like,
that's a valid thought. And it's not true, but that's such a valid thought.
I told Amy that, and she was like, I do not believe that for 1 second. She's like, I truly believe your results are going to outweigh the sacrifices. And I was like, all right, let's go. And she's like, we are going to change your mindset.
That's why you have to work with a coach, because you need someone to hold that belief for you. Yes. Like when you're learning any kind of skill.
Yeah. Well, and that's when like people who are like chiropractors or like other coaches come to me and they're like, oh, I know all about the nervous system, but they're not doing it for themselves. Yeah. Like, cool. I know all about health and how to eat healthy and how to build my plate and track macros and how to train and all of that. And I'm not doing it because I'm prioritizing other things. So I needed to pay somebody, an expert who's she's not holding me accountable. Like I'm holding me accountable, but she's there for me to like every week whenever I'm like, oh, this week was so hard, I'm getting to my breaking point, and then I like can talk to her and be like, okay, get me back to like motivated for this, you know?
Well, and like Trevor's not doing this.
No.
Like, your kids aren't doing this. So like it really is, it's lonely out there. Yeah.
And recently she changed like my eating times this week because she's trying to get me hungrier again. So she wants me to stop eating for the day really early so that by the morning I'm like really hungry.
So when is the last time you get to eat? Like
4:30. Yeah. She wants me to be done eating by 5.
Yeah.
Which is super hard, but we're
my answer is that's her like key to health. She's like, I just eat whatever I want all day, and then I just stop eating at 4 p.m. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow. Well, I don't know about that. But yeah. So confronting false pleasures, recognizing like, oh, this was like something I was just trying to get joy out of and it's like, okay, why did I need joy in that moment? Like, what am I feeling in that moment that I'm trying to distract myself from? Meeting myself, right? Regulating through that discomfort, right? Like that's what I teach my clients every single day is like regulate through the discomfort. So whenever I have like a desire to grab a snack, I'm like sitting with the sensation. When I have a desire to grab a coffee, I'm sitting with it. Whenever I'm having stress triggers, instead of reaching for something that's going to make me feel better, I'm just pausing. And so I'm actually practicing all the frameworks, the emotional regulation, the nervous system awareness, sitting with urges, choosing alignment over autopilot. I'm just doing that like real time, which has been pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm not sneaking the crackers. I am honoring the commitment. This is super, this is so much identity work. Like I am the type of person that follows through with the promises I make to myself. And yeah, it's nervous system expansion. And I say all the time that when you are trying to expand your capacity to hold hard things, one of the best ways to do that is to actually put hard things in your path on purpose.
You have to.
Like, what challenge can I put in my path on purpose that's going to make my life hard so that I have to go through it? The only way through is through. And that's going to make me be like, oh, I'm the type of person that just chooses challenges naturally. I just choose hard things naturally. And you said something the other day. You were like, you haven't really like shown yourself go through a hard thing in a while. And I was like, wow, like physically, like, yes, I've gone through hard things. Like I've had loss.
Yes. Like this last year, you've had a lot of emotional and mental.
Not where it's like, I'm going to do this challenge and challenge myself on purpose.
Well, yeah. And it's like Macy McNeely's been saying recently, she said a whole thing last week. She was like, you know, you need to be interesting, like for people to be interested in you. And it's like, this is an interesting thing about you right now.
Which is why we're making a podcast episode about it, guys. So this is refinement of my character and this is refinement of my integrity. I am depending on myself. I'm creating more dependability on myself, and I'm truly shifting to find joy in God, my creator, and family, and who I'm becoming, like in actually like pushing myself in like the quiet moments and my discipline. And I know that like I'm going to be a better person and more refined on the other side of this. So this is gonna be awesome, y'all. I'm gonna do a full debrief of like my results and with Amy at the end of the 12 weeks. And we're gonna do frequently asked questions because I've been getting so many questions.
Yeah, like I feel like this episode has caught a lot of questions, but there's for sure even gonna be more to come.
Yeah. And Amy's intense. So y'all might listen to that podcast and be like, I never want to work with her. She's crazy. She's so good. She's just like no BS. She's just like
people love her.
People love her. I mean, she's built like a huge following. Like she has a great audience. She does a podcast. She just is not sugarcoating the truth. She's like, this is the truth. Like Chick-fil-A is bad for you. It's not the healthier fast food option for your kids. Like that's like a recent thing she posted about. So I'm going to share my results. We're going to talk about common questions. We'll actually probably take questions for y'all to ask. And so we can make sure we have those.
Yes.
I'll share my physical results and how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Did you take pictures before?
No, but I really should because I don't have any physical results yet. I actually feel more bloated.
You need to take pictures today.
Yeah. Good idea. I just want y'all to know that like, I'm not doing this because I want to have like a perfect body. I am doing this because I really want to be the most optimal version of me health-wise for my family, for my business. And so I can impact more of you. So that's why I'm doing this. And you know what? If my body looks better at the end, like it'll be a nice byproduct, right? I think that everyone's body deserves a reset. Your body is such a gift and you have to steward it. And that's what I'm doing. So we're just in a season right now of becoming the most regulated, energized version of myself.
Yeah.
So
that girl, if you will.
That girl, if you will.
Yeah. So
thank y'all so much for joining us today. Come back for the next episode.